Well, I mean, the guy from Script is dead.
Yeah, which is sad.
Sad.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
No one has any relevant Script
But-
stories at this juncture of time, but
No.
maybe in a few months.
When enough time has passed.
Yeah, when a new guitarist has joined. I searched last night. I was like, music news, doing my little prep for the podcast. And all of the news, apart from the guy from Script dying at like 46, which is very young, was like, Katy Perry says it's time she does another tour. And I was like, there is no news that a journalist is writing that.
No.
You excited?
Ellie Goulding is #1 in the charts with a new album.
I haven't heard it.
I listened to the one song. Do you know on Apple Music there's always it's like the hit songs have a little
star. Yeah.
I listened to the one song that's got a star.
And would you have starred it? I don't mind Ellie Goulding.
I mean, it wasn't offensive. Here's the thing. It didn't anger me. It didn't anger me that it was #1, but it was also just like I was a bit surprised that it's #1. Normally I can understand why something is #1, even though I think it's absolute garbage.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm like, I can understand why people like it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it just seemed a bit
Ellie,
bland.
do you know what I would worry about? Ellie Goulding, for me, she was big because she had a really unique voice.
Mm-hmm.
People don't have really unique voices anymore, so I'd be really interested to listen to it. I haven't, but I don't know if she's submitted. I'll have a look. I'll be interested to see, because I guarantee you it'll be the same generic voice, overproduced. But if it's not, then cool. And if I listen to it and I go, oh, that is just the Ellie Goulding voice, then that would be great.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, apart from that, the only other thing I've seen is I saw an article about how something like
This is the banter open.
38 million tracks on Spotify have 0 views.
That's wild.
Isn't that crazy?
I also...
And then I also saw there was like a breakdown of it, and it was like something like even just songs that have like 100 to 1,000 listens, right, are in a really small percentage.
Yeah.
So then it's like made me kind of be like, that's a good way to look at it though. If you've got a song on Spotify and it's got 1,000 listens,
good job.
That's honestly that's pretty good.
I have
You're doing
seen
really good.
I have seen people talk about this from a promotional standpoint, where they're like, I think like, I might be wrong, but I think it's like 100,000 songs a week. 100,000 songs a day get added to Spotify. Because there's just so many people making music. So when you have a music release and you're like planning how to do it, you have to remember that on that same day there'll be 99,999 other songs released. So it's so difficult. It's so difficult to get onto playlists. It's so difficult to get heard. And the only way you can do it is
no
have
wonder
fans.
bloody YouTube crammed it down our throats
Yeah,
and just forced us to listen to it.
Absolutely. And then there's another guy who came out and showed that he had I think he had majority writing credits on a track. They got like 155 million streams. And I've skewed the numbers. I think it may be more than that. Maybe 180 million streams. And he made like less than $2,000 from it. Which is like, that's crazy.
I think it's just the big picture, the grand scheme of things. It's like it's easy to forget just how big everything is, how many people there are. It's like with YouTube. It's like we'll sit there and like, you know, look at our tiny little channel and be like, we've got this amount of subscribers. Is like nothing really. But in the grand scheme of things, like there are more channels out there that have got like under 10 subscribers than there are channels that have over 1 million.
Yeah, well, I think the growth of this
or like
over
big,
like
right? 50,000. This is that's why it's like channel. It's one of those. But this is because it's crazy to think about, because back in the day, like when YouTube was in its infancy, if you had a channel that had like 10,000 subscribers, that was viral. If you had a video that got watched 10,000 times, that was a viral video. That would be on the news. Your video,
on BBC Breakfast.
You would be on BBC Breakfast getting interviewed by a host.
Someone.
And you'd have to try and explain YouTube. That's how viral that was. And yet now, if you've got like a YouTube channel, it's got like 10,000 views. It's nothing. But it's also still massively impressive.
Yeah, 100%.
When you look at how big YouTube is now compared to back then.
I remember on like episode 6 or something, we got like 200 views, and we were like, "Oh, this is really good." And you made the point of like, imagine if 200 people were in this room.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
that would be like, we'd be surrounded. Like they'd be back here, and they'd be like shoulder to shoulder. So like that's so many people. And then last week's video got over 1,000. I think it got like 1,200 views. That's insane. And we've been doing this for less than 6 months.
Yeah.
So we've been knocking out, it's episode 21, and I think we missed 1 week. So we've been doing it for 22 weeks. Someone out there can probably do the maths for how many episodes divided by 4. To get to this point. Have I ever told you about my little YouTube, I guess my accolade on YouTube?
Yeah, we've definitely spoken about it.
Was this on the podcast?
I'm sure we have.
Yeah, I had a video that got 26,000 views, and it was a #1 music video on YouTube.
Yeah.
Imagine now if I came out and went, I got the #1 music video on YouTube.
Like a billion views.
But back then it was like 27,000, and it was like the top thing.
But then I still, because like I think the thing is, like, because YouTube is so much bigger now, that if you get a video that's got 10,000 views, it's probably more impressive than getting 10,000 views
back then. Yeah. Because what happened was a big content creator literally replied to the video and was like, "This is great," and then we just watched the views just plummet, and it went like 100, 200,
plummet.
500.
It's the opposite of plummet.
No, it plummeted upwards.
What happened?
I rolled the outro.
We're black. Wait.
Show.
Our outro is the same as our intro, though, right?
Well, no. The instrument is the same, but it says like subscribe, share.
I won't come out that. In that case, B, roll the clip.
Roll the intro. But the main difference you'll see here is the intro fades to us.
Yeah.
The outro fades to black. Okay, sorry everybody. How's your week been, B?
Hey, regular. Yeah, just a normal week, regular week. Nothing's really happening at the moment. I feel like there's like it's either everything's happening or nothing.
And I agree. This has been a bit of a nothing week for me, but I will say, because I had a few messages, a very very sweet people message, but we film on Saturday morning, break the illusion, and. So we filmed last week, Saturday morning, and then I went to like a little Easter family thing with the family, and Max wasn't very well. He was a bit miserable.
I was going to say, you had a bit of a tough weekend last week.
So yeah, we were at this family thing, and he was just like, he would have loved it so much. It was in a garden, there was a bouncy castle, there were loads of other kids. Any other time, he would have been running around, like we wouldn't have been able to stop him. He didn't want any of it. He was just like cuddling, so we knew he was a bit ill. We decided to drive home because he was just miserable. And as we were driving home, he got really ill, like struggling to breathe. So he ended up having an ambulance called out. We ended up in hospital. He's absolutely fine now. But it was just a really, really scary few days. So thank you there's a couple of people that just reached out. Because I posted, my issue was, it meant that after everything calmed down and he was just in hospital recovering on the Sunday, I brought in my laptop and I edited the podcast. So I was in like the pediatric ward editing a podcast. Had it edited, had everything ready to go, but I was like, I can't post it because I've got no internet, I've got no phone reception.
And I can help because I contribute nothing to this podcast.
Well, and also you don't have the file, right? So it was just a bit of a nightmare. So I put a post out just to say, we know a handful of people listen on a Sunday, not many, but a few people do. So if you were waiting for the podcast to come out, that was why. But yeah, thanks for the well wishes. Everything's fine now. But that was the drama of the week, really. And then I went back to work, and everyone was like, "How was your Easter? We did an Easter," and they were just telling me how great it was, and I was like, "I spent a few days in hospital." It was
that's the worst week of my life.
Absolutely horrific. But yeah, apart from that, nothing else.
Well,
got addicted to Football Manager.
Yeah. But apart from that, the only important thing is Max is good. He's all good.
Yeah,
it's fine.
He's back to his normal self, running riot. Just good.
But you have got me addicted to Football Manager, by the way.
Yeah, I started Football Manager this week, which
I've never really been a Football Manager guy.
Here's the thing about us, B, right? And correct me if I'm wrong. This is a generalization.
We're losers.
No, yeah, because for me, I think there is a type of game, right, that could get reviews where 40% of the reviews, 50% of the reviews, maybe even 60% of reviews
will be like, this game is trash.
Not trash. They'd be like, this game's boring.
Yeah.
They'd be like, why does anyone play this game? It's boring as hell.
Yeah.
When I see that, I'm like, okay,
what
are we talking about?
Yeah. What we got here? We're like a wash simulator.
Yeah.
Jet wash simulator, baby.
House Flipper and Farm Simulator and all of those games where you have to really think, like, if you're on about...
What am I doing?
No, but, like, for example, if you were like, oh, okay, I'm going to get a mate to play a game with me. If I'm on about Warzone, I can ask any friend, right? But if I'm on about, oh, I'm going to sit on Farm Simulator for 3 hours and I'm going to cultivate a field, it takes a certain person to enjoy that game.
I've spent so much of my time, right, playing Farm Simulator, that I sometimes think to myself, I could be rich, like, and just be a farmer.
Yeah, but you.
Well, no, I wouldn't be rich. Yeah, I wouldn't be a farmer. But I've played a lot of House Flipper, right? And my backup, if everything fails, right, my last bit of money, I'm just gonna buy a van, right, and a jet washer, right?
Christ, yeah.
And I'm just gonna start jet washing. Because I think like I don't know what it is about me, dude. I love virtual jet washing.
Yeah, well, that's the problem, though, isn't it? It's really fun to do shit on a game.
Like, and the thing is as well, I want to say I have jet washed in real life, right?
Okay.
I've jet washed a pavement, and it is, I don't know what it is.
Is it as good?
Oh, so good, so good. Like the satisfaction you get. Well, for one, it's like therapeutic, right? You know, you get some tunes on or whatever, and you just sat there. But then watching the pavement go from like dark, grubby, grimy to like nice and shiny.
Yeah, I do get that.
There's nothing like it.
It's like cleaning. Whenever I clean the kitchen, which I'll throw out, right?
Once in a blue moon.
Yeah. Becky doesn't listen to this
when the
show,
flies,
but if she did.
When the flies get a little bit too zesty.
Yeah. No, every now and again, we have a very, I don't know.
Bohemian?
Nuclear, maybe, family? Is that the right term?
Wait, your nuclear family is like, that's like the wife is at home, the guy is working.
That. We have that,
yeah.
right? And we've kind of got a balance that works, right? Oh, we've caught flack for this before. I've been speaking to someone, and I've, like, been in trouble and cornered because that's our setup. And it's like, well, it was a decision we both made.
Yeah,
like we had a decision, and Becky went, well, look, you make enough that I could just raise Max. There's also financial issues. I think this is only a problem in the UK, but childcare is so expensive.
Yeah,
Becky earned like an average pay, right? Probably a bit above average pay at her old job. If she continued to go to her old job, we worked out that her going into the office and working a job and putting Max in childcare, she would work a 8 or 9 hour day to make between £5 and £10 a day. So at the end of the month, she would have like maybe, I don't know, like £200 at the end of that of her work. So it just made no sense. But yeah, I've had people before being like questioning why we're doing that, like really on the forefront, because in their minds it's like, well, anyone should be able to do anything and the women can work. It's like, yeah, Becky could work. Like, absolutely, Becky could work and I could stay at home. It was just a decision we made.
Yeah, and there'll probably be a time where like Max is a bit older and like you can start working around certain things. So Becky probably might go back to work.
She started looking for some part-time work.
So it's like, it's not an issue. It's just you got to do what's what's best for each individual family. No family is the same.
I think this is where it crosses into the people that are trying to do the right thing end up fighting against their own team.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They end up fighting like the extreme like feminists will end up fighting against women. Like we see it all the time. I don't want to speak about any of it because we keep getting put in YouTube prison.
Yeah.
I don't want to mention
you can't speak about anything.
No. We've covered all of the topics. How are you?
Jesus.
The weather was fine, I guess. I can cover that one off.
Yeah.
And now we're talking about feminism fighting against women, and it's like, oh, it's slippy. It is slippy.
Yeah.
No, yeah, anyway, that's fine. That is what it is. Yeah, no, she's looking for work now, though. She started interviewing. She's had some interviews.
Nice.
Don't know how it'll work out, but we'll see. We'll see.
Cool. What are we talking about now?
I don't know. Yeah, we're done. As we said, there's no music news at all, really.
None. I've gone through it all, dude. The only other thing was about... I don't want to talk about it because it's about women in music again, but...
No, I hate women in music. No, I get what you're saying, though. What was it? Is it Lizzo?
It's just a report.
Not Lizzo, is it?
No, they've just done a report I've seen where they were like just a massive gap between like the amount of women that are credited on like tech for music and stuff, and like tech credits and stuff, and I'm just like, yeah, okay. I don't know what you want to do about it.
I went to music college, right, and I saw firsthand the percentage that most of the men that went to the music college went, I want to be in production, or they wanted to be in the equipment side of it, and most of the women went, I want to be in the performance side of it. There are exceptions to that rule, and one of them ended up working at Lion's Head Studios. Right, yeah. It was a game developer. They went bust, but she ended up doing like sound engineering there, so she got like a massive, great job, but she was like an outlier. So people always want to push this issue of like everything needs to be 50%. The target is wrong. I've actually just had a corporate conversation about this, where it's like your target cannot be 50% if in the industry 10% are women and 90% are men.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
You could target 15% and go, we're going to be above the industry standard, but it's a weird thing to go for. Men and women are different, and that's great, and I think we should embrace that, right? Like, there's a big difference between a male artist and a female artist. They have different sounds, and that's good. That's a good thing. That's what gives us variety. And I don't know why we want everything to just be the exact same in the middle, no differences. Like, people should embrace differences.
Yeah.
No human is the same human. Everyone has their own story, and that's what makes life interesting, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know why I'm so deep.
Well, yeah, moving on. The only other thing that I saw that I thought, I guess we'd probably bring up, but like, have you seen more of the Elon Musk interview now?
I've seen some of it. I've seen some of it.
Like, so good. When are these news broadcasters going to learn that they need to, like, one, do a bit of research? I don't understand how you can be a BBC journalist, by the way, and rock up to an interview with Elon Musk, right? Arguably the most influential man on the planet at the moment, right? Yeah. I can't think of anyone else who's more influential than Elon Musk. Love him, hate him, doesn't matter. Yeah. I'm of the opinion that Elon Musk, there's a bunch of stuff he does that I'm not a fan of, but then there's also a bunch of stuff that I am a fan of. But then what I admire more about that is he's just a billionaire who is beholden to no one, who says what he wants and does what he wants, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't care about, like, appearing to be on the right side or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. But how the hell, as a journalist, can you rock up to an interview with Elon Musk and not have anything in your back pocket in terms of research? Like, Elon Musk is asking at one point, I don't know if you've seen the clip, but he's talking about a rise in hate speech on Twitter since Elon Musk takes over. And Elon Musk asks one very simple question, right? He says, have you seen an increase in hate speech? Like, just on your, you know.
Just anecdotally.
Yeah, anecdotally. Have you seen a rise in hate speech? And he fumbles around for ages and says, like, eventually he says, well, you know, I don't really use the platform anymore.
Yeah.
And then Elon Musk was like, well, what are you talking about? Well, like, if you haven't used the platform, then how can you possibly know? And then he kind of pushes further. He says, well, I used to use it. Like, before you, like, after you took it over, I've used it after you took over, and I saw a rise. And then Elon Musk is like, okay, well, just name, like, give me one example of hate speech.
One tweet.
Like, give me one example, one tweet.
Yeah.
And he can't give one example. How do you turn up to that meeting without at least a transcript of, like, one or two? Yeah. And I'm like, I think the rise in hate speech on Twitter is the biggest joke of an argument ever. But you can find it.
Sure, yeah. You could absolutely go to
He could have spent 10 minutes and scrolled down enough.
Al-Qaeda fan group here have tweeted this, you know.
He couldn't even come up with one.
Here's what I'll say, though, about that. And that situation is interesting, because as you say, the answer to the question is, he says, I've seen a rise in hate. And Elon then goes, okay, what's the example? And he goes, well, I haven't seen it in a while, because there's so much hate, I don't use the For You page. And he's like, okay. So what he's just trying to push him to say one of the examples, and he's got nothing. And then he kind of says, there's a really great argument here where he's so in the corner and he's digging and he's like, oh well, no, it's kind of like there's some, and then Elon's like, just can you tell me one thing that you see more of now that's made you go away and say, oh, I don't want to use that feature? And then he says, well, you do see posts that can be upsetting because maybe they're a little bit sexist or a little bit racist.
No, he says slightly.
Slightly, yeah.
He specifically
sexist,
says the word slightly sexist.
And then Elon Musk challenges that and goes, so if it's slightly sexist, it should be banned. And it's it's a great point, because it's like, well, there's a huge difference in, and this is where I think this conversation becomes bigger than why is that journalist there. It's about who that journalist is and how he's having that conversation, which is, well, I feel like I'm supposed to be against Twitter. I feel like there's a rise in hate. I feel like that's what I'm supposed to say, and then that's all that you need to do. Whereas all Elon Musk would go is like, okay, show me what you're on about. Show me exactly what you mean. And from Elon Musk's point, because he is a very technical guy, he just wants to know where the line is, right?
Yeah.
So from his side, he's like, okay, you're telling me there's hate. What is hate? Because is someone saying, like, this actress shouldn't be paid as much as this? Is that hate? Is it, that's the tricky part. So it's kind of, people have these arguments, but they don't have any information or data. They just have their feelings.
100%. Because I was involved in like a post like this a couple of days ago, because there was a post about how
I was going to talk about
Pedro Pascal
has
been paid like a ridiculous amount more than Bella Ramsey, who's the girl that plays Ellie in The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, so, like, most people only know Bella Ramsey, right, as an actress. Most people don't know her by name, for starters, right? And most people only know her from the child actor who had one emotion, right?
Yeah, very minor
on
role.
Game of Thrones. Don't get me wrong, she did fantastic.
Yeah.
Right? But she didn't really display much acting range, right, on that show. She didn't, like, blow anyone away with her performance. She was a much loved character, but that's completely different.
Yeah,
than,
she was a cool character.
Yeah, right?
I was like, oh, rock on.
Yeah,
She's
even though you can talk about some of the absolute ridiculous stuff that she ended up doing, but that's not on her.
Right.
That's the absolute shambles joke of the 8th series of Game of Thrones, because of D&D, whatever their names are, right? Yeah. That's their nickname in Hollywood, D&D.
I see.
Dragons. I can't remember what their actual names are.
They rolled a 1 on season 8.
But apart from that, that's all Bella Ramsey's done. I mean, obviously, if you go onto her Internet Movie Database, I'm sure she's done a bunch of stuff. Yeah. But in terms of what people actually know her, the people that are actually going to watch a show because someone's in it, that's all anyone's seen. Pedro Pascal is an established actor who's already a main lead in a massive Disney Plus show, right? Mm-hmm. The only successful Disney Plus show at the time, right? Because Star Wars
show. Oh, Mandalorian. Yeah, of course. I said that.
And I know people would be like, well, his face isn't even in it. And I'm like, well, one, right, he still does an amazing performance without his face being in it. And two, that show's so big that everyone knows it's Pedro Pascal. Everyone knows who that is. And he's also been in a ton of other stuff. He is an established actor. He's an established actor that has already proven to give really good performances. Bella Ramsey, even in The Last of Us, has he's such a one-dimensional actor. I'm not trying to bring hate on her or whatever, but I mean she does one emotion very well in that show, and I don't know what people are arguing about.
Maybe some good down.
My main point is none of that is hate speech.
Here's the problem, right? It's not about Bella Ramsey at all, and it's not about The Mandalorian, right? Pedro Pascal is literally the most in-demand actor right now. Right now, if you look at any of the social media platforms where people promote films, and you look at films coming out, Pedro Pascal is the number one get in Hollywood. That's all it takes. So again, this is one of those things where
just his social media presence.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Any of the interviews people do, any of the posting, or you go on TikTok, he's the biggest thing currently. Right, if you are making a film and right now you want eyes on that film, it's not The Rock, it's not Dwayne Johnson, right? It's not Kevin Hart, it's Pedro Pascal. Yeah. That's what Hollywood is, right? So it always annoys me when, again, the argument for, and again, this is it's a bit of feminism and equality and all of this, where people are trying to do the right thing, but what you're told to do in that situation is just reduce people to how much money they make and their gender. So the people that fight against having things by gender, right? They don't want people to be identified by their gender. The one thing that they do is just identify people by their gender. So Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey are just a penis and a vagina, right?
Yeah.
And one of them makes more money than the other, so we're angry. That's not how life works. Pedro Pascal's massively in demand. If he's in a film, people will see it. If Bella Ramsey's in a film, maybe there is a core people that really support her, but she's not going to draw people in, and that's the only argument that happens in Hollywood.
And also with the Pedro Pascal situation, at the time this was all going down, he was shooting The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that goes into it. If you're approaching an actor who's already embedded in a franchise, you're already going to have to pay that actor more than you would normally would.
And this is the other point that annoys me whenever this happens.
It's the same as kind of sports, like with a free agent rather than going after someone who's in a team, as a key player.
But more importantly, right? Both of those actors, I think actors is a gender neutral term, right?
Yeah,
I use it as it.
Yeah.
Both of those actors have agents, have teams behind them, and both of them agreed the fucking amount.
Yeah.
So, oh no, Bella Ramsey makes 750% less than... Yeah, because she fucking agreed to, right? Yeah. At the start, they called her up and went, do you want to get paid X amount for an episode? And she went, absolutely I do, because that was a lot of money for her. Pedro Pascal, they would have called and gone, do you want this amount of money? And he would have gone, nah, it would need to at least be this, right? And I'm not saying she didn't negotiate. She probably did negotiate too. But the point is, they accepted that amount. And the reason why they accepted that amount is because that's what they're worth. That's just how it works. The same happened with, it was Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
I think there was a big thing about the film Passenger where she came out and was like, I wasn't paid anywhere near as much.
At the time.
Oh, wait, no. Or was she paid more?
I can't remember.
I think, or possibly she was paid more. But either way, you looked at the film.
With this.
Yeah, that may have been fake news.
Slander.
Either way, there was a big hubbub about that, and then you looked at it, and I think Chris Pratt, like, no spoilers, but she was in the film for like 2 minutes, and the whole film was Chris Pratt.
She was in it for more than 2 minutes.
It wasn't a lot.
Yeah, I mean, she was in it for about half the film, but Chris Pratt was in it.
I don't
for
see
all
women.
Of the film.
So no, but anyway, it's always a weird argument to me because again, like we're talking about equality of pay among the elite. And in Hollywood, there's only one thing that matters. And it's the same in the music industry, right? There's a reason why certain like singers will be big is because they have an image and they have a brand behind them. It's weird. I think what you need to do is judge people but as people, right? Don't put gender first. I don't care if you're a male or a woman.
A male or a woman?
That was weird.
That was
weird, yeah.
Female or a man.
Or a little boy. I don't care what your gender is. And we've said before, like, I will treat people as a person. I will treat people with the respect that they deserve and that they give back. But yeah, it's the weirdest argument. What are we rooting for? What are we rooting for in this argument of fair pay? Should every actor just have a set amount? You're a TV actor, you make 50 grand an episode, and you're a movie actor and you make 10 million a film, right? And then you just stamp it. Because if that was the case, all that's going to happen is Bella Ramsey no longer has a job because different people are going to get the roles. So it just makes no sense. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, that started from Elon Musk.
Yeah, Twitter. Crazy. How much do you get paid per episode for this? We've not spoken about. Maybe there's pay disparity there.
You guys are getting paid?
I am. That the meme? If anyone buys a mug from indianashow.com, look at this mug. It's such a good mug.
Not if they use the code BEANS.
If they use the code BEANS, we make no money. But it's a lot cheaper because it's 15% off. I am. Can I throw out
Stop plugging the merch.
No. I'm talking about the design itself, though. I love this mug so much. The actual logo, as in
if you couldn't guess Rob does all of the design for this podcast.
Well, this is what I think we tried to say when we first plugged the store as well. I got so carried away with designing it, and I think you said that we got banks and banks of stuff.
We don't ever have to pay anyone to do much ever because you've got like a hard drive full of it.
Basically, this mug, the 210th, it's called the 210th best mug on the store. Is because someone emailed us at the start, like episode 2 or 3, we got an email from someone selling like a tech product, but like, we can give you insight to your podcast, and it was like, right now you're doing great. You have the 210th best music industry podcast in the UK.
You know what I love about that, right? Because that's obviously like an automated email, right? Mm-hmm. That they work it out, right?
Yeah.
Whatever, boom. That how far up do you have to go before it's insulting everyone that they email?
What do you mean?
Because they email us going, hey, you're the 210th music podcast, right, in the UK or whatever.
How many other people got emails?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. I'm assuming at least 110. Like, there's at least 109 people.
209.
Others.
Yeah, 209.
Right, at least 209 other people got that email. But how far up do you reckon it goes before they get someone that is actually like, oh, we're doing really well?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. What would you want to get to as the music industry UK podcast? Like, if we could break 100, that'd be cool.
yeah, that'd be cool. That would be cool. But it's just a weird. It just seems like a weird marketing email.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like maybe you should maybe only target the top
100.
Yeah. And it makes me go, how far does it go?
Yeah. Someone else has the exact same mug.
You're the 519th.
Yeah. There are only 519, but you made it. Wild.
I think there might be 210.
It's an odd place to stop, though, isn't it? 210.
No,
it's just the end of the list.
Well, it's the end of, that's what I mean. They're like, there are no music podcasts after our one.
I bet they didn't anticipate someone putting it on a mug.
UK as well.
In the UK, it's not even global. It's not even global. Look, bam. It's a great mug, though.
But it's official.
It's official. I love that. That's so good. So we've got some bands to listen to.
Yep.
And then that's it. So we can drag this out massively. No, we've got bands to listen to, and then I had a question for you, which is inspired by something that's happening next week. I think we can not announce, but maybe tease that we've got a little treat next week. It'll be a very different episode, so please join us, bear with us, see how it goes, let us know what you think.
Because we're a bit nervous about it as well.
Yeah, it's a big thing to do, and I've watched podcasts before. I mean, we've said before that we're looking at guests. Next week, in theory, should be the first guest episode. So it's really exciting. It's a huge opportunity for the channel, and I'm excited to just have a chat with the person that we have on. It's going to be really interesting, but it is different, right? And like, I've seen huge podcasts before open up to guests and it not work.
Well, yeah, because it's weird, because it's like we know now that our dynamic works, right?
Yeah.
Like, people have told us. We also just know internally, right? But it's weird to then like pop someone else in there, because it's like, how do you act? Do we go into it exactly the same?
Exactly.
Or do we, like, you know what I mean? So it's tough, but hopefully it will all go well. Hopefully, I guess we'll save us. I'm sure we'll be fine. And
I will say, it's a great shout out, right? The dynamic is weird. I imagine we'll be maybe a bit more formal, a bit more professional, because we're fucking not at the moment. But I do know this guest. That's how we've got them on. And I think they're a cool.
Yeah, the hook is that they're kind of established within the industry of, like, the music industry, and in terms of all sorts of different sort of avenues and production and all that sort of stuff. I think we can get some really good insight.
Yeah, I may be quite specific with what they do and kind of some of the projects they've worked on, because I think there's an opportunity. There may be people that
have questions.
I know that we have people that have submitted music that I think want to go down the avenue this person has. They're a session musician, so they get paid to play gigs and record on records. But first, before we speak about that, should we listen to some music?
Absolutely.
At the halfway point. We've got some very exciting stuff here, and I might start. I'm going to start with a little exclusive that we've been
It's an exclusive, baby.
Which I don't have a jingle for that. I thought it'd be really good to be like, it's
okay. No. Okay, I'll knock some up.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
It's an exclusive, baby.
Cool, I like it. Yeah. So it's an exclusive. What has happened is we've had some bands that have been on previously that have continuously supported us. I love them more than my son. That's not true. No, but I love them like a distant, distant cousin that you see twice a year, and you always have a good laugh with them, but you don't meet up outside a little family gathering. Do you know what I mean? No. So we've had a couple bands have released music in the last week. Actually, no, one of them's released music in the last week, and the other one hasn't released some music yet. It's coming out next week.
Which is juicy.
I love it. I'm so excited. So first, I want to check out a band called Dogbeach.
Dogbeach.
They released a song yesterday. So this is hot off the presses. They have just... Oh, they've got an album out as well.
Is it hot off the presses or hot off the press?
I don't know. Yeah,
because
is
you
it like
stop
an iron
the
press? That is for pressing newspapers, isn't it?
And then you start the press.
But hot off the press.
And that takes 4 days or what? What is it?
That takes 7 hours. I don't know what it is. Yeah, a little Simpsons joke. So let's listen to Dogbeach first. I would ask you what you think the genre is, but it's Dogbeach, and we've listened to them before. They were a cool indie. They had the song "Fake It," and I've not researched this, but it comes up on the Indiana Show playlist. And I bloody love it.
It's good.
This one's like, fake it! Take it! It's a really, really good song. This is Shame by Dogbeach, featuring someone called Livy Hepler. And I don't have a timestamp because they haven't submitted it. They just emailed me to say this is coming out. So let's check out Dogbeach. This is Shame. Away we go.
I'm trying to find me. I'm trying to find myself again. I'm trying to find you. I'm trying to find you all again. I don't know who I am. I don't know if I can still pretend, but I think I'll find it.
I'm going to pause it at 25.
Oh,
and I'm just going to nudge it.
Skip forward.
Just a little bit.
It feels like it's getting bigger. I like it.
It's going to build. And I've probably just there like, oh man, I wish they just heard it come into the chorus. This one right here.
I finally found you forever.
I want to see what
I'll always be yours. Don't think I'll leave 'cause I never.
I like it.
I like it a lot.
Sounds
I like
great.
the feel of it. I was just going to say it kind of reminds me of a band, but I can't really remember the band's name, so I'm just not going to say that. But yeah, really good. Really good. Awesome.
It's the only thing that is a shame. Interesting, cool. I wanted to have a listen just because I know the band and I know a few of their other songs. It's a really nice sounding track. It sounds very, very similar to what they've done previously, which is good. I think you want that. You want some continuity, especially when you're like trying to break through. The only thing that was missing for me is that the last chorus was quite big compared to the verses. So you listen to the song and it was that like quite groovy, and then there was like this big dynamic jump for the choruses in Fake It at least, and I couldn't find that one. It may happen. Maybe this is just a more chill.
I liked it. I like the feel of it.
It's a really good
vibe. I've just looked it up, sorry, because I couldn't remember. But it's a band called XX. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
Oh.
But it kind of gave me that vibe. But it sounded really smooth. Liv sounds good on it.
Yeah.
Good addition. Sort of like a good
really
dynamic
subtle
of it, yeah.
as well. It's not.
When
you feature another artist, they can be quite overpowering.
I kind of really like that sound with the kind of like subdued sort of feel to it. That was great stuff. I can't wait to listen to all of that.
They have an album called Playa del Perro out now, which I haven't actually checked out the full album, so I need to. Oh look, Other Media, and we're on it. I love that.
Stop it.
Oh, I love it. I love them so much.
Stop it, guys.
Just amazing band, amazing sound. They've got a second song on the playlist now, so I'm excited for that
as well. It's just really cool.
It's everything about them. They've got a few shows coming up, so if you're in New Jersey, which I know we've had a few submissions from. Oh yeah. Oh, and we have another submission. Oh no. It is Dogbeach from New Jersey. So
yeah, so I don't know if you're.
Well, you've got
fans,
the cap on, haven't you? So
New York Rangers playoff starts next week, baby.
Yeah, it's exciting if you're if you support a club that partake in that, which I do not. So good luck, everybody. Have a good time. Just enjoy yourself. It's fun, isn't it? It's fun.
I don't ever enjoy playoffs, dude.
There's no feeling worse. There's no.
But the thing is, there's no feeling better, but there's also no feeling worse.
Well, I don't know what the better is because I've been a Flyers fan.
Well, here's the thing, right? The worst feeling in the world, right, is Game 7 overtime.
Yeah.
It's just dreadful. But then the best feeling in the world is that goal that goes in Game 7 overtime.
Oh God.
I'm already starting to feel sick.
Yeah, I'm so worried, like on behalf of you because you've gone all out. Anyway, Dogbeach, thank you. Well, you kind of submitted, but thank you for the support. We stole it. Yeah. No, they emailed. They let me know they were releasing it. I wanted to give them a shout out because I fucking love them. I think they're so good. They've supported the show for ages, and then this.
And is what I want to know is Liv like a permanent feature now, or is that just?
No, I don't think so. Because she's featured, and her Spotify is like, I don't know. It's this like she's on both, so it's Shame by Dogbeach and Liv Hepler.
Well, there you go. If you want to check out Liv Hepler as well,
yeah,
might as well give her a shout out while we're here.
Maybe Liv needs to submit a song, and then we could play Liv, and then she could feature Dogbeach.
But yeah, my overwhelming feedback is that they sounded great on that track.
It's just a good sound. I want to hear the rest of the album because I don't think that's on the album that's promoted on their website. And I've listened to a few songs of theirs, but I love albums.
Yeah, it's a good album. We've always talked about this, isn't it?
This is a mental thing to talk about now, because this is something that we should just have a little meeting about. But on indianashow.com, there's a cough. I have said, and I messaged you about it, and I think maybe this could be the start of it. Who knows? That instead of just plugging merch, it might be quite cool to do some album reviews and actually listen to, when people get featured on the show, we listen to 30 seconds. But so many times I then listen to them on the playlist and I'm like, oh, there's so much more to this song. So I'm quite tempted to do some album reviews and EPs. And when people release a single, we'll actually type it out and then they'll have something featured. Or maybe we can do some interviews and stuff and do it on that instead of it being through the podcast. But yeah, there's a lot. Let me know what you guys think. If you think it could be cool to have a written review that you could send people to, or interviews or whatever would work. But something that makes that website a bit more fun than just going and buying a t-shirt and a mug. Yeah. But please do go and buy a t-shirt if you want it.
Stop plugging the goddamn merch.
What if we become rich from selling t-shirts?
Only if people buy the £500 t-shirt.
Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I'm doing. All of the search engine optimization on that one page. So people that are like, I want people a stupidly
expensive t-shirt.
Expensive, flashy boom. T-shirt. It's us. It's the Baller series of Indiana Show.
With a slightly better material.
Yeah. I should have ordered that sample, but then I'd have to walk around with a t-shirt that says this t-shirt costs £500.
I've got another t-shirt idea. One that just says slightly better material.
Feel this t-shirt. You'll be mildly impressed by how soft it is. Do you know what's bad?
Also, we haven't said at any time. Sorry, like and subscribe right now.
Oh, okay, go.
If you're listening now,
we'll wait.
If you're listening right now, you're listening to what I'm saying right now.
On YouTube though, as well. If you're walking the dog and you have Apple Music on,
stop.
Pause. Actually, you don't even need to pause. We'll wait. Right, and you're opening YouTube. No.
Search in indie and
it should be on
show.
There. Oh, it won't be on the homepage. And why isn't it on your homepage? Because you're not subscribed. Right. So you've searched Indie the show. Scroll down. Subscribe. Not that one.
keep scrolling.
Yeah. Indiana show.
Remember 210.
Yeah, and then hit subscribe. And maybe drop us a comment, but that's up to you. You
have to drop a comment. Subscribe is all you need, babe.
But yeah, if you subscribe, because we want 100 now, and then when we get 100, we're going to ask for 1,000.
Oh.
500 probably, right?
Well, that would be like the next milestone.
500, right? Yeah. It's like if you're dating someone and you celebrate 6 months, you're doomed, right? Because it's a year. A year is an anniversary, and then 2 years, you don't even go out. Maybe you get a card. Anyway, thanks for subscribing.
And 10 years, you celebrate your 2-year anniversary from getting divorced.
Ooh, that's edgy. 10 years, 2 years. That would mean me and Becky have a year.
That's
one good year.
The math works.
No, we'd stick it out for
I'll
Max.
see you next. No, because you're not married yet as well.
Not yet. Coming soon.
Because marriage is when the stress piles up, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what they say, maybe. Planning a wedding is when the stress piles up. That shit sucks. Anyway, Dogbeach, love you. You guys are the best. Let's keep it on... Actually, no. I'm gonna save the exclusive. We've got some new artists to listen to.
Okay.
Let me just pop that on the playlist, though. So that is now on the playlist. Indiana Show. Amazing. Our next artist is Antrán. Antrán. And where are they from? Colombia. Bogota, Colombia.
Oh.
I've probably said 2 out of 3 of those words wrong.
Well, we know they're in South America.
Antrán has one of these. Do you know the things that go over an A? Over the second A. So it's Antrán.
I don't know how to pronounce that.
Antrán. I don't know. I'm really sorry, but
we are
from Colombia.
Englishmen.
What are you thinking?
It's hard not to sort of immediately think there's going to be like a stereotypical South American vibe to it. Like, I don't know, like kind of upbeat, maybe some sambas. Did I just say? What did I say?
I don't know what you... Sambas. Like samba band?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, maybe.
Colombian?
I don't know what I'm saying, dude. I don't know. It's hard to judge. But then, like, the amount of times I do this, and I'm like, okay, what does Colombian music sound like? And then they're just like a heavy metal band.
Yeah, because music is universal.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless they are a native tribe of the country, then it's not really going to make much difference.
Because I always think about this, because if we were making music and it was like, if someone else has got a podcast, right, in America, and we submit it to it, and they're like, okay, now we've got this band from England, and they're like, what do you think it is? I think it's going to be lots of bells and whistles, like maypole dancing.
They don't know what that is.
Yeah, no,
they think we sound like Oasis.
That's what I'm saying, though. Is like if you look at like what is traditional English music.
Yeah, I think what they would think is that we'd be either the Beatles or Oasis.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Which is fine. So we've got New Year's Day by Antrán, and you're guessing. I think African drums is what you guessed for this Colombian submission. I will say Antrán. I'm gonna say I think commercial rock.
Okay.
Do you know like hair rock? Do you know, or like who I'm trying to think of?
1975.
No. Like something rocky, but a bit more flamboyant and catchy than just like. Ready?
Yeah.
A shifter comes. In holidays a shifter comes. Hides in my eyes. He's finding a new sanctuary. Far from the flies, near the sunny glory, far from...
That's 30. I don't even know how we would have guessed that.
No, it's kind of started.
Is it jazz?
Was kind of like like noir sort of jazz.
Noir jazz. It's
Kind
so
of started.
interesting. This is going to take me like 3 weeks to
Process?
even know what I think of that. Because it's so interesting.
It's really unique, is what I say. I'm not.
Can I say that I was sad about one part, which was at the start there was like this accordion synthy sound that I really loved.
That was my favourite part. That was because that's why I said kind of noir, because it kind of sounded, it gave that kind of like
accordion.
Yeah, kind of dark, kind of like 1940s feel to it, like noir sort of jazz.
Kind of looking at the pictures on the Instagram as well. It's kind of this. It's this really interesting vibe of some of it is like futuristic. I don't know what genre. There is an accordion. Why did you put the... Oh, excuse me, I almost died. Why did you put the accordion down? Yeah, the accordion sounded really good. I don't know. I don't know. It's. I think the genre is what I'm struggling to place, and then because of that, I don't know how to feel about it. The vocals and the instruments, there was a big disconnect in terms of just recording quality.
Yeah, because that's what I was going to say. Is it kind of the vocals sounded a little bit flat?
Yeah.
And I don't know what the issue is there. Like I said, it might just be.
I'm
recording,
going to be
mixing.
honest.
It might be a little bit of lack of confidence on the track. It almost
Yeah.
kind of sounded like because I think there are people that have listened to that and maybe they'll be like, oh, something's not right. Is he singing on the wrong pitch or whatever? And I'm like, that. I think that's just the style that matches the genre, like that kind of.
It's like a free flow jazz.
Free flow jazz sort of thing, which like jazz kind of is one of those weird genres. It doesn't really like the like normal rules of music making don't always necessarily apply to sort of jazz.
Yeah, everyone wants dissonance and they want to create tension.
Yeah, exactly.
With
So
notes,
so my problem isn't that. But I think my problem is just that the vocals they came across a little bit flat.
Even the technical recording, and this may be like the guy that's recorded this may be like, you're out of your mind, because I may be completely wrong.
Oh yeah,
it sounded like they were recorded with like an iPhone. Do you know the earphones you get? That have a little bit?
Yeah.
It sounded like he recorded everything with like direct input. So like the piano was plugged in, so it has this really clean sound. The accordion sounded good if it was an accordion, but then the vocals sounded like they were recorded at a much lower quality.
Yeah. But I would say in terms of like I said, the first 5 seconds of that song I thought were great.
Yeah.
Because what I could picture as well on top of that is maybe like a sax just doing something in the background.
Yeah.
Maybe like a trumpet as well at some point. That's what I mean. I get that feeling from it, which is why I was so disappointed when the what we are assuming was an accordion at the start kind of disappeared. But apart from that, it was really interesting.
Yeah. Very, very interesting.
Completely different to anything we've played so far.
Yeah, 100%. That's without a doubt. We've had a couple tracks that have been like really different, and it's harder to make music like that for sure. But I think it's just I think for me that's the main production piece is that the vocals either need to be at a higher quality, because sometimes you can record things at a high quality and then put effects on them and make them sound different, and maybe that's what's happened, but it's gone so far the other way that actually it's split up the vocals and the instruments so they're not working together. And I think that's what you say, when people may find something wrong there when they're listening to it, it is that there's this disconnect.
They're just not sure what that is though.
But I mean it's a really interesting submission. Again, as I said, it's one that I'll listen to after the fact and be really like, it'll take me a while to know what to think of that, to be completely honest, because it's so different. Like I said, it was going to be like this commercial rock, and then an accordion happened and a dissonant piano and then this like loose vocals. But no, thank you so much for the submission. That's our first submission from Colombia, I believe, and it didn't have tin drums or whatever you said.
I don't know. I apologise for anyone.
There we go. Amazing. Look, so we now have two more submissions to listen to. We don't have a wheel this week.
No wheel.
Just because we have another exclusive. So
we've got another exclusive?
And we have another exclusive.
Do you know what that means?
It's coming up. No, it's not yet. Come back in a circle. It's not yet. Because we're going to listen to Skizoid Kid.
Is that a new one?
That's a new one.
We've
not heard Skizoid Kid
Straight away. Great name.
Skizoid Kid is a good name.
Great name. Skizoid Kid.
They are from, don't hold it against them, Épinal in France.
Épinal?
Yeah. This is a bit of a sidetrack. I was listening to the Always Sunny podcast.
Right.
Which is great. If you're a big fan of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, they have a podcast that's very funny. They were ragging the life out of French people for like 3 episodes as well, and then they were like yeah, look, I'm really tolerant of all other people, and then like, apart from the French, I hate the French. And then they were going in, and then the next episode they were like, one of them was at an airport in Heathrow, and they were like, if you see any French people, get them on the podcast, and we want to find out why they suck so much.
I think it is rich coming from like
Americans,
an American, because I want to throw out there, every nation, right, has the exact same sort of thing where it's like every other nation will always go, goddamn English, goddamn Americans, goddamn French, goddamn Spanish, whatever. But I would say Americans are probably at the top of the list. If you were to ask like an average person from every country, right, what's the worst?
Yeah.
What's the worst nationality?
Yeah.
They're probably going to say 100%.
American. You always can see them. Like when we were in Croatia, I remember you would look at crowds of hundreds of people and you could literally be like, okay, they're American. They're American just because of the way they're acting.
Well, and I've also seen so many like films and stuff where they specifically, there's a character traveling across Europe who's an American that is pretending to be Canadian.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there has to be a reason why I've seen that in multiple films.
That's funny. Skizoid Kid, any guesses? We're listening to a song called Windy Heights.
I think it's going to be some sort of rap.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Skizoid Kid. I know there's
Skizoid
quite
Kid.
a big like sort of urban grunge sort of rap scene in France as well, I think. So
it's a safe guess. I cannot wait for this to be wrong. Or electronic, it could be.
That
a lot of like electronic DJs in Europe. Skizoid Kid. We're listening to the timestamp I've got is 3:14.
Wow, it's a long song.
So we're listening to the end of this song. So this is 3:14. This is Windy Heights, featuring Victor Duran as well. Victor Duran, probably. Yeah. So I'm gonna hit play on this at 3:14. The album art is beautiful.
Nice.
This is really, really nice. So there we go. I wonder if he does his own album art. Let us know. Skizoid Kid, if that is your real name. Here we go.
I think you can tell from our reactions. I swear, because we were like, oh, maybe some rap.
Yeah.
Maybe. So that was crazy.
This is. I always feel bad because this is unfair because we've had one submission that's been very different and interesting, but a lot of like critique. And this happens. This happens all the time. Sometimes we'll have episodes where all of the bands we're like, that was great, amazing, and we don't have that much feedback because we're not phenomenal musicians. You know, we try our best. I think we know what sounds good. But sometimes it's a contrast as well. So you have a band where there are some production notes that I think would make it better. And then we go to something that's really clean, really like well established. So I don't have production notes. I can give feedback. It's fucking amazing.
It's great.
It's so good. It's like what happened there. And I think I'm going to be interested to watch this back. Is that in our two little circles, happiness happened.
Yeah.
It started playing and we were both like, this is amazing. I was in my head, I've loaded a PlayStation 2 game, like Crash Bandicoot or something, and this is the music, and I'm in like a big part, or like Big Mother Truckers.
Yeah. I was literally just had the same thought. I was like, yeah.
My nipples are hard again. And I can't remember who did that the last time, but I've got hard nipples again.
I mean, my nipples are
just
normally hard.
Some songs make your nipples soft.
Yeah,
that's when you know.
No,
it's
like it was good.
So
I was also sat there. I was like, how many instruments am I listening to right now?
Yeah,
because there's obviously like a bitchin' harmonica happening.
Fucking, it was so
right. There were wind chimes.
Yeah. I don't know.
Everything.
Tito,
I'd like to know if that's instrumental or if there were lyrics to it. But
I think instrumental.
Probably instrumental by the sound of it, and it sounded great.
I'm going to drop us in a minute.
Okay, stop it. It's unfair. It's unfair. We're listening to too much. Good. But I love that because it's a really good mix between like just synth kind of electronic sounds, and then like
just quickly clicking a dodgy.
And then there's a harmonica. Do you know what I mean? Like it works.
A synthetic.
I don't even know what you would call that. What genre?
I would say. Do you know? It reminds me of a band. Oh, it reminds me of a French band actually, Caravan Palace, who are electro swing.
Yeah,
is what they do. that was almost like electro folk, you know,
country.
Yeah, so it's like it's electric music, it's electronic music, but it's like with organic real instruments, like, and I love that mix.
A completely different Caravan Palace, but I know exactly what you mean when you say the kind of a Caravan Palace vibe to it.
Which, if I was French and someone compared me to Caravan, I'd be like, oh, merci beaucoup, Caravan Palace. I'm so sorry, Skizoid Kid. That's what you get.
Look, just an Italian.
Oh no, not Italian.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, and I thought maybe it wasn't in your little circle, but it was in your circle.
That's French, isn't it?
Is it?
Moustache. Yeah,
that feels English.
No, there's always an evil French waiter in the film, isn't there? And he's like,
I'm adding. Was it Windy Heights we just listened to? It was, wasn't it? I'm adding Windy Heights to the playlist.
No, Skizoid Kid.
Skizoid Kid, his song Windy Heights.
Okay.
Also, can I shout out that this has 157 views on YouTube, which isn't a lot.
That's not enough.
It should be way more. It was so good, and it feels, as I said, it feels like a retro video game, upbeat. It just immediately just felt me with happiness. Live session, they've done it live.
Oh, definitely checking that out later.
Check that out.
I love a live session.
Yeah, and as I said, like that comparison with Caravan Palace, if they know who that is, I'm sure they would, because I think Caravan Palace are pretty big. I love Caravan Palace so much, and I'm not into like electro dub or anything like that, but it's that real unique mix of having these organic instruments that lead the way with like this charge of electronic beats behind them. It kind of, I couldn't not move. When that came on, I was bouncing around. There's bloody good stuff.
Top job.
Très bien. Bon travail.
I don't
good
speak
job.
any. Je m'appelle Ben.
Oui.
Comment
C'est vraiment. Okay.
Comment estás?
I love it though, guys. That was that was so good.
I
fucking lost my mouse. It happened last week. I lost my mouse. Maybe that's what got us over a K though on views. Me losing my mouse.
It wasn't.
No. Amazing stuff. We've got one more band to listen to. It's our good friends, Lunar Dialogues.
And it's an exclusive.
Do you
know what that means?
Oh shit.
It's an exclusive, baby.
Wait, you just did. Isn't that like is it like maybe Crystal Maze?
Yeah.
It's an exclusive.
Here's the problem.
Yeah.
I can't remember what.
No, I couldn't
what
remember.
I did the first time.
And I was excited to hear what you did, and then you did that, and I was like, I don't think you did Crystal Maze last time.
Chimpanzee, that it's an exclusive.
Yeah, this is an exclusive. So, Lunar Dialogues, and why is this happening? Why are we playing two bands that we've already played before, Ben?
Because...
Do you know?
It could let in a draft.
It could let in a child.
No, because they're
Name
great.
the film.
One, they're great bands, right? We've had them on before. They were fantastic, but also they've supported the channel. They've commented. They've shared posts. They've shown us some love.
Yes.
So we're showing them some love back by
playing their music again.
Yeah, featuring their music again.
Yeah, 100%. So with any time we've played bands multiple times, those bands have commented, they've supported, they continue to watch the show, which is a weird requirement, but it's just helpful. If we know people are still watching the show, letting us know what they think, sharing stuff, putting posts up on Instagram, and what that means is you get played again. They reached out and said we're actually releasing a track, so if there's a chance it can be on the show, that'd be really cool. And straight away I was like, that would be awesome. So this is going to be, I don't know if it's the first time it's played. It may be the first time it's played. Maybe it's the first time it's played in the UK for sure, because they're from Detroit. So this is at least a UK exclusive. It may be a worldwide exclusive of Lunar Dialogues. This track is called The Haunting of Boney Kane. And I'm going to start from 106, although where is 106? There was a problem playing this audio file. Give me a sec, let me just refresh the page. A little bit trickier when it's not released, because I obviously just got sent the file. But let's see here. really cool.
Such a good sound.
I like so the song is The Haunting of Boney Kane, and I felt like there was some artistic decisions here where there's some like dissonance in the vocals that made it really like eerie, but in like a good way. It's just, like intentionally eerie to use these like dissonant.
It wasn't just a random name to a song. It's like it like I love that because there's like you can tell immediately there's meaning behind the song because it's like it matches up with the name of the song. It sounded great. It sounded haunty. I don't know what to say. Like it was great. And it's always like as usual really clean, really well produced, really well put together.
Also, I felt there was some really interesting like chord movements. Yeah. So there was the chords that were like on the edge of what should be the normal like scale, and it just created all of this tension, and then the resolve was there as well.
The sort of piano like jingle in the back as well.
It's really good. It's really, really good. So what can you do if you like that sound? In the link below, in the link below, there'll be a like a pre-save. So if you go on to the link beneath their name in the description, pre-save the track. It's so helpful for bands if you can pre-save it. It helps them get on playlists. It helps them make sure that their launch goes well. So if you go to that link, it will actually take you to the website I'm on now, and then all you need to do is Spotify pre-save, and then that's done. I didn't share my email, which I should have. So there's a little tick box beneath that which says to share your email. So click that if you want. If you don't, that's fine. But the most important part is hit that pre-save for Lunar Dialogues. Thanks for supporting the show, and that song sounds really good.
Yeah, top.
I remember the first submission that they put in was really interesting. It was like not this super commercial track, and it's always easier to listen to commercial tracks, but when you get it right, it creates a really unique sound, and I thought that was it.
I always feel like the longevity of those sort of songs as well that aren't sort of like over commercial.
Yeah,
it's so much better as well.
You don't end up hating it.
Yeah,
like there's songs. If it's really, I'm trying to think of the catchiest song I can think of. Can't Stop the Feeling by Justin Timberlake.
Yeah,
right. Which I would say as a commercial song, if you listen to it and go, right, what is a good commercial song? It's a brilliant commercial song because it's catchy and it's got a groove. But once you've listened to it 5 times, you'll be yourself.
Like, oh, you want to kill yourself. It's like torture. It's almost like torture. Like audio torture.
Amazing. So that's our music of the week. We've had an exclusive. We've had a new release from.
Had 2 exclusives.
No, that song's already out. It came out yesterday. Dogbeach.
We have 1 exclusive.
1 exclusive. 1 new track from Dogbeach. They're crushing it still, and then 2 new submissions that have been really, really interesting. So thank you so much. What a good collection of music today.
Yeah, good.
Always bless. It's so weird. It's so weird how we could have just had the same song submitted 250 times, and that hasn't happened.
That's been the biggest surprise for this for me, is the absolute minefield of different like variety genres and different sort of types of music and different types of bands. Yeah, and just from like different like where the bands are coming from, like Colombia and
100%.
You know, we had one from Egypt or something, didn't we? Or like
we've had one from an African country that I can't remember the name of, but a really small country. There was a guy making music. It's all around the world. These little snippets.
It's great.
Amazing. So next week we've got a guest, and I can say the guest is a session musician.
Worked with some pretty big people.
Yeah, and I can probably say a couple of them.
I don't know. Yeah, probably, because I mean, I imagine these people have played with lots of different sessions.
I would say
musicians and stuff.
That in terms of credited work, it goes as big as Ed Sheeran. They have credited session work with Ed Sheeran. They've toured with the likes of George Ezra, who we've mentioned previously on the podcast, and just a whole list of others. So if you do have questions about being a session musician, whether it's recording or touring, because this person does both, we're going to have a sit down with them. We're going to talk about how they got into it, where it began, and I know they have some amazing stories of being on tour with these people. This is someone who plays shows to like stadiums and arenas of people.
But so even if it's not specifically about session music or whatever, just any questions about the music industry or different avenues or advice you're looking for, whatever, it's a good opportunity. So definitely drop some questions below, and I'm not going to guarantee that we'll ask all of them, because I'm sure It'll probably be
I'm
Sunday.
sure some of them will be stupid.
Yeah.
And
What's
we've got those covered.
They're already on our list of questions.
Yeah.
Like, what's your favourite colour?
Yeah.
You know, what's your favourite Sunday evening activity?
If all of the people you play bass for had a Royal Rumble style fight,
Who would win?
Yeah. Could be a good question. Could be good. Yeah, we're really excited. I hope this works. There's a chance it might not. Right.
Might be awful.
It may be really awkward.
It might be the end of the podcast.
But I'm really excited for this, and we've got some other great people that we have had agree to be on the podcast. So hopefully it goes well. Join us next week. There's going to be a really big episode next week. I think it's going to be important for us. Hopefully, like this week's episode as well. The music was so interesting.
Yeah,
I'm very excited to listen to more of that. That last. Oh wait, no, I can't. I can't add that. I've pre-saved it. So when that is released next week, that song comes out next week, by the way. So when you're listening to our podcast next week, that song will be released. Releases on Friday. We won't be listening to bands next week. I think we've made a decision. I think there's going to be so much information and benefit from speaking to the person we're speaking to. So I think that'll be it. We won't be listening to any music. So apologies for that, but I think everyone will understand and enjoy the fact that they get to soak up some music industry knowledge.
Actually speak to someone that knows what they're talking about.
that has done anything remotely successful in their life.
Instead of these two idiots.
Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, do you have anything else?
Nothing really. Nothing else.
There we go. I didn't have anything else either. I was going to update on what happened. We did that. It's all good. And then just no music news.
No. Nothing.
Good luck on the tour, Katy Perry.
Oh.
Because that's what she said.
Yeah,
she said it's... she didn't even announce the tour. She said, it feels like I should do a tour soon.
that means the money's running
yeah. She's like, I only have 90 million. What the fuck am I going to do? I was about to buy a house for 10 million.
Yeah.
So, look... Link to her GoFundMe below because she's struggling. No, amazing. Look, we'll see you guys next week. I feel nervous. Even just talking about next week, I feel nervous.
No, I'm not nervous.
Be alright. Be alright in the night. Love you guys.
Let's go Rangers.
Ciao. I'm going to play the intro. No, I'm kidding. Ciao.